Mbukeli silapha sinawe ziyakhala ziyalila nxa zonke njengesigubhu saseZayoni hayi bayayizwa induku nangapha kamakhelwane ukuthi nje abasho balokhu bekhalele phansi bethi ishu zenzani lezi ingane estudio 12
Right Ntombi
hayi ngisase
Studio 12
na kumntana estudio 12
Hawu Nkosiyami sithi happy women's day kuwo wonke amanina kade kaloko nigqusha laza nisiqingqela ikamva eliqaqambileyo niwagqithile amanqanaba kodwa zange najonga emva namhla siyatshila siyachocha kuba izinqe zenu ziyavakala ningamanina oMzantsi Afrika ngalomazwi ke siyanamkela kwinkqubo yenu niyithandayo Ekhaya Jikelele sithi rhabulani nifinxe kuvimba esithe sanididiyela wona namhlanje
Mbukeli njengamanje ke sibheke ke ehamba phambili njengoba ke sesingena ehoreni lesibili
Umongameli uCyril Ramaphosa kulindeleke ukuba enze intetho kwisikhumbuzo sosuku lwabasetyhini kwi-Union Buildings ePitoli namhlanje.
They don't even specify as to why a car is impounded. They just say you have infringed the conditions of the operating license.
Ungqongqoshe wezokuthutha ugxeka ukushaqwa kwamatekisi e-Eastern Cape ngendlela engekho emthethweni.
Sihlushwa izintuthwa lezimpimko emabaleni. Okay, othethayo ke nguNonkalakazi ndicela nihlale bethunana niyibukela ekhaya Jikelele kufumaneka indaba ezibalulekileyo imozulu ezemidlalo ezomculo ndicela nihlale apha ke nibukelile bantasenda ndithanda kakhulu sihlushwa izintuthwa lezimpimko emabaleni.
Ungqongqoshe wezobulungiswa uRonald Lamula uthi iboshwa esikhungweni sokuhlunyeleliswa kwezimilo ikhuthama sinithumele eLouis Trichardt eLimpopo zizongeniswa kwamanye amajele kuleli. Umnyango wezokuhlunyeleliswa kwezimilo uthi iboshwa ebeyibhikisha zithungele ngomlilo lesisikhungo kuholela ekutheni ke esinye seyiboshwa silahlekelwe umphefumulo waso kusona lesisigameko kubeke sekulimala iboshwa eziyishumi abanye ojele nabo bathole imhuzukwana ngesikhathi ke bedudulana neziboshwa uLamula utuse indlela amaphoyisa aphendule ngaye ngokunjalo nezikhulu kuleli jele.
Umphathiswa wezothutho kuzwelonke ugxeke umphathiswa wezothutho nokhuseleko kwisixeko saseKapa uJP Smith emtyola ngokuphula imithetho yezothutho kuzwelonke kulandela uqhankqalazo lweteksi olubenzixholo-xholo kwisixeko saseKapa nolushiya abakhweli bengenazithuthi. Zi-6,000 iteksi ethe zoxuthwa kubanini bazo nokukhokelele kugwayimbo. Umphathiswa ke bethetha namajelo eendaba eMidrand wamemelela ukuba zikhululwe ngokukhawuleza eziteksi.
Umphathiswa wezothutho enomsindo utyityimbisele umnwe isixeko seKapa ngongathobeli imithetho kazwelonke nomgaqo-siseko.
If you look, they even report on the money that they are actually getting from the taxi industry, and they budget on that. It cannot be. The mayor, in fact, the MMC responsible for safety and security in the Western Cape, he says for one truck that is banned, we are going to impound 25 taxis. No, you can't say that.
Ukwathezi lilishwa izenyeliso ezijoliswe kwicandelo leteksi.
If you look at the notices that they give you, if you like, it will be your ticket. They don't even specify as to why a car is impounded. They just say you have infringed the conditions of the operating license. And those conditions, they are more than 50.
Umphathiswa wezothutho uthi siyaphanza isixeko seKapa kumilisela ngendlela efanelekileyo imithetho yezothutho kwaye sidala umbhodamo ngeyomfuneko.
Their vehicles are impounded every day. Impounded for changing a lane without indicating. This, of course, is wrong. It can never be undermined. However, in terms of the National Road Traffic Act, the sanction is not impoundment.
uJigunga ukwawugxibhile umbhodamo wecandelo leteksi eKapa esithi isebe lisalumana indlebe nababandakanyekayo ngakumbi Santakho ngelokufumana izisombululo kule ntsindaba dala ufunge ngelokuzinza eKapa de isonjululo lenyewe.
Iqembu lezombusazwe iNkatha Freedom Party likhahlele ngazo zombili insolo zokuthi kucijwa itulo lokuketula umengameli waleli qembu uVelenkosini Hlabisa. Ngesonto ledlule ke mbukela amalungu esigungu esiphezulu saleli qembu acikice incwadi yohlu wekhalo enxusa unobhala Jikelele weqembu kuba abiza umhlangano ophuthumayo wesigungu esiphezulu kuleli qembu. Kukholakala ukuthi ke inhloso bekungiphakamisa ivoti lokungabethembi ubuholi bukaHlabisa kuleli qembu.
Uhla lwezikhalo obulubhalwe amalungu eIFP lwasabalala ezinkundleni zokuxhumana. Le ncwadi yabe ibhekiswe kunobhala Jikelele weqembu kucelwa umhlangano kwaqubuka izinsolo zokuthi ngaphakathi eqenjini kukhona abafuna ukugudluza umengameli weqembu uVelenkosini Hlabisa. NgoLwesibini abaholi baleli qembu bathi ngemuva komhlangano nalamalungu angama-20 balixazululile lolu daba. IIFP iziphikile izinsolo zokuketula uHlabisa. Leli qembu lithi laba bebefuna ukukhuluma ngezinto ezifaka umfaniswano weqembu kanye nezikhangiso zalo.
Izingxoxo ke zethu zibe zingxoxo ezakhayo kangangokuthi lamalunga aze afinyelela lapha adlulise khona ukuxolisa kwawo ngoba siwachazela ukuthi lesi sigatshana sokubhala ipetition sisetshenziswa uma niqale kumengameli weqembu nacela umhlangano kodwa awangavuma.
Ngezinsolo zokuthi kunokusabela impilo yakhe uHlabisa uthi akathandi ukukhuluma ngalolu daba.
Kuliqiniso ke ukuthi abaholi bezimbusazwe abahlukeneyo babhekana nezimo ezahlukahlukene ezinye ezibeka impilo yabo engcupheni. Yinto ke uhulumeni ngesakhiwo sakhe samaphoyisa uma behogelile ukuthi ikhona impilo yomholi othile esengcupheni baye bemqwashise.
Iqembu lithi libumbene futhi izinhlelo zokhetho zimi ngomumo. Mlondi Khadebe, SABC News eThekwini.
Umongameli uCyril Ramaphosa kulindeleke kuba enze intetho kwisikhumbuzo sosuku lwabasetyhini kwi-Union Buildings ePitoli namhlanje. Usuku lwamanina eMzantsi Afrika luphawulwa umzuzu apho amawakawaka amanina athatha inxaxheba kumngcelele owawuchasene nemithetho yocalucalulo ngonyaka ka-1956. Owona msitho uphambili bekufanele ukuba usekhaya elitsha urhoxisiwe ngenxa yoqhankqalazo lonoteksi oluqhubeka kwiphondo laseNtshona Koloni.
Siphinde sikwamukele mbukeli wekhaya Jikelele. Sibonga kakhulu ukuthi usahlezi nathi lapha ekhaya. Lapha ke ohlelweni sinembongi ke umAfrika wamuhathi ozosibusisa njengoba nje kuusuku lomama. Afrika phekwapho bathatha.
About proving that women can work together without squabbles. This poem is not about a language adjuring to be used, fearing its inevitable death. This poem, it's a city beneath the ground, sprouting names, begging to be remembered. Hang our names on the washing lines. Hang our names on the washing lines. We want to be seen. We have been here before. 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 Transcending through the light, sending through the dark, and no slimmers are gonna find us, and no power monger politician gonna find us. God, we have been here before. We have been walked this path before. We have been here before. Those women whose names are left in the margins, they are calling beneath the ground. Hang our names on the washing lines. We want to be seen. We have been here before. We have been here before. Sending through the light, sending through the dark, and no slimmers are gonna find us. God, we have been here before. We have walked this path before. We have been here before. So hang our names on the washing lines. We want to be seen.
Enkosi ngokuhlala nathi nisasibukele kaloku apha ekhaya jikelele kwinkqubo ndaba yakho uDTT. Umzobi ke uBev Bartko owenza imizobo yobugcisa ephuma izandla unomboniso obonisa isibindi sabantu basetyhini nentsebenziswano kwelinye icala ukubonisa ke ukuhamba kunye nenkathalo equlathwe ngabasetyhini kumzamo wabo wokwenza ilizwe libe yindawo ekhuselekileyo. Sinaye ke apha namhlanje kumagumbi ethu osasazo ozasichubela banzi ngomsebenzi wakhe awenzayo ukubhiyozela amabhinqa. Molo Bev.
Molo.
Unjani?
What?
How are you?
No, I know what you're saying. Tell me the right response.
Unjani ndiyaphila enkosi. Or you can just say the bright and the right and not right.
The bright and the right.
Yes, welcome to Ekhaya Jikelele.
Thank you.
And happy Women's Day.
And to you, it feels very auspicious to be here today.
Wow. I mean, we are celebrating women across the country, women who are really rising the bar high. And you yourself as an artist, I must say that you are rising the bar high. And you have this exhibition coming up. Can you just enlighten us on the inspiration behind your exhibition?
Yeah, so I weave and I paint and I make woven forms which I throw into space. A very bright friend of mine said that the soft arts are the space of the other. And that's where my work starts. It's always the ones who are othered, who are not in the mainstream, who don't have the levers of power and access to the levers of resources and power, who seem to be the ones working with soft arts. So that's where I start.
Amazing. And I mean, this exhibition coming up, we understand that even today, women use art to express themselves. What messages or what theme are you hoping to convey to women in this exhibition?
So I think we use art to express ourselves, but I also think we can go further. I think we can use art to assert ourselves into the narrative, to get a woman's voice amplified and to make sure that we are heard more loudly, that we have more space taken up, because I think that women actually are the ones who sustain this country, and I think our voice is not heard enough. So I really want this to be it's been an empowering experience for me, and I want it to be an empowering experience for other women.
I love the fact that you are saying that you are amplifying the voices of women, because I mean, for a very long time, I must say that women have been silenced, but here you are amplifying their voices. And speaking of this exhibition, I know that you selected women who are going to be part of this exhibition. I want to understand, was there a specific criteria that you followed when you picked these women?
So there's two separate elements to that. On the one hand, I work with women in my process, and it seems like they get drawn to the process or come through very natural kind of forms. I have a domestic worker who's been with me for 30 years. Her daughter came to live with us. She was in the house doing nothing. I said to her, come, let's weave. And she has got these magic fingers. She makes the most beautiful things you've ever seen. So that's on the one hand. And then I've also pulled together a talks program with other women artists, because I wanted to, again, amplify the voices of women artists, to let their work be shown and be seen, and create conversations around what art can do in our society. So, and those women, those are artists who are speaking very much about women's labour as a creative practice.
Wow. I mean, as you mentioned earlier, that we really use art to express ourselves. I mean, throughout history, women have been using art to express themselves, and not only express themselves, but also advocate for their rights. Could you maybe discuss, I mean, the techniques that you used in creating, I mean, these pieces?
So I weave, but there's a huge selection. There's a big difference, a variety of weaving techniques that we use. So the process, I'm going to hold it up so we can see. Somebody asked me to bring a piece in, so we've got it here. We might as well look. So I use scrap or salvage materials, and use, so leftover scrap fabrics from a friend who's got a dressmaking business, the beads and things, that somebody donates to me from an old business. And we weave them together to create these forms that are very porous, that have got holes. They hold together and they fall apart, and I think in a way that speaks a lot to kind of the place of women today. We hold things together, and yet we unraveling at the edges. In many things are unraveling at the edges in many situations.
That is so true. I mean, the power is within us. We always hold things together, just like I mean, what are some of the challenges that you maybe perhaps faced when creating this collection?
Being an artist is incredibly difficult. On the one hand, you're always searching within your soul and within yourself to express yourself, which is a very difficult process. On the other hand, there's very, very little support financially. It's, you've got to go out and you've got to make this world happen for yourself. You've got to be an entrepreneur, even though you may not have been taught how to be a business person. So all of those things become very difficult, and you're bearing your soul, so you feel very vulnerable in doing it, and yet you've got to be brave and you've got to be strong. And I always compare, for me, I think mothering is the best example of, or the best methodology that I bring into my work. I mother the materials, I nurture them, I love them, I try to grow them to see what they can do, to see how they can be amazing.
Amazing. And when you speak about mothering, I mean, it reminds me that really mothers, or women in particular, they are the centers of the home. We understand that, I mean, you'll be showcasing your creativity and talent and some of your unique works. What is it that you are hoping that, I mean, some of the viewers who will be part of this exhibition will be a takeaway from them, especially when it comes to promoting gender equality? I mean, we are faced with so many challenges as women. What is it that you are hoping to achieve, or a takeaway to the viewers?
So I think there's two things. You said that mothering is the center of the home.
Oh, yes.
I want mothering to be the center of our society. The kind of nurturing, the kind of collaboration, the kind of giving that a mother does for her children and in her home. Why can't our society be structured on those lines? And if we can actually start thinking about bringing the thought processes and the loving processes, the openness and the givingness of mothering to the way we run our beautiful country, South Africa, I think we would be a very different place. What I'm hoping for people to walk into the exhibition is to feel the work with their bodies. I want to activate the senses. I want you to feel something that's very deep inside you that maybe you can't even understand or explain, but it activates something in our body, because I think we have intelligence in our body that we set aside and we ignore in most of the things that we do in our world.
Oh, wow. Definitely. And I do believe that the chakras will be just balance. Your sacred chakra, your crown chakra will be balanced. And I mean, this is great because you are basically fixing the crown of many women out there. And I believe from this exhibition, you will enlight their confidence. And I mean, I want to understand, because you touched on the mothering. Were there any personal experiences that were really close to your heart that maybe influenced your directive style when creating, I mean, pieces?
Absolutely. I've got 4 children. I'm lucky that they're older now and they're kind of more self-sufficient. But those years of mothering and those years of being there, standing with them and growing them and nurturing them and having to step in and step back, and all of that finds its way into the process in the way I make. And then also I think that it's important to talk about the gaps in the works and the holes, because I think the holes are quite kind of significant. On the one hand, that they let the background through, so you can always see the context around you through the work. And I think we can never forget where we are and where we placed while we're making art. But then also it also relates to the generations of my family going back, where I have no knowledge of my family. So kind of like it's what we don't know as well is also situated within the works.
This is amazing. I really love the story and inspiration behind this art piece. I mean, for women who are watching us today, who may find themselves in a dim world for them to shine, I mean, what are some of the words of wisdom that you'd love to convey to them so that they are really influenced and their spirit is really higher?
Sure, that's such a hard one. I think women in this country are given such a bad... It's so difficult for so many women in this country. I think maybe I'd like to say that the collaborative spirit and the working together as communities and how we lift each other up is the thing that makes women, in my opinion, very different from men. Men are individuals and they the one who wants to stand on their own. For us women, we hold hands together and we lift each other's up. And I think that that's the way that we can maybe get through the hard times that we're facing, is if we do it together, collaboratively, in community, and we work together to help each other.
Unity is indeed power. Bev, I mean, for some of our viewers who are probably wondering when is the exhibition, and I mean, for more information, where do they contact you guys? Okay,
so I'm on Instagram. You can look for me, Bev Butko. So the exhibition opens Sunday a week, the 20th of August, at the Origin Centre at Wits. It's a very wonderful place, and the museum has opened up. The opening is from 2 to 5 next Sunday. The museum has opened up. There'll be no entrance charge. So if you want to bring your kids to come and see this beautiful, amazing collection of my artworks and be the museum and the origins of mankind and creativity in Africa, it's a beautiful place. So Sunday the 20th, 2 to 5 p.m. Origin Centre, Wits.
Sunday the 20th, it's a date. Bev,
oh, good.
Yeah.
I look forward to that.
Am I invited?
Oh, you totally.
Bev, thank you so much for joining us. And I really feel that, I mean, women out there feel empowered from today's conversation. Thank you so much for joining us. We wish you all the best in your exhibition. Hopefully we'll cover it, I don't know.
You're more than welcome to bring the cameras inside and see how we take soft art and throw it over very masculine kind of like structure to soften it.
Yes, it's really inspiring to see women like you in such industries. Thank you so much for joining us. We wish you all the best. Right, mbukeli wami lo ke besincokola naye nguye uBev. But Khoslani Ndleme naye ngomboniso wakhe obhiyozela abasetyhini. Uyatsho kaloku into yokubana phakathi kwemicelimngeni esijamelene nayo singabantu basetyhini kukuba singaboni ngasonye nokungabambani. Uyaququzela ke mbukele sithi into yokubana singamani noMzantsi Afrika funeke sibumbaneni. Xa sibumbene sizawenza izinto ezibukwayo. Uyathetha ke ngomboniso wakhe eza kube wenza phange 20th kaAugust. Uba ngaba ke mhlawumbe mbukeli uyafuna into yokubana uqhagamshelane wazibanzi, qiniseka kaloku into yokubana uyamlandela pha kumakhasi onxibelelwano. Konke mbukeli masithi qhwi evenkileni, qiniseka into yokubana awugqushalazi sayibhiyozela kaloku inyanga yamanina. Siyabuya emva kwale ntengiso.
Asiphinde sikwamukele embukeli ekhaya Jikelele. Njengoba namhlanje nje ke sigubha usuku labesifazane sibone ubumqoka bokugqamisa ingqinamba ababhekene nazo kwezemidlalo. Lokho kuza nje kamuva iqembu lesizwe phela ibanyana ngaphambi kokuyobamba iqhaza kwendebe yomhlaba like lakhala ngenkokhelo engagculisi. Ziningi embukeli igameko eyifuze lesi. Namhlanje ke sixhumana ocingweni nolononwabo Nkohla ongumethuli wezemidlalo emsakazweni iRadio 2000 ophinde futhi kasebenzela inhlangano eqhakambisa abesifazane kwezemidlalo iG Sport for Girls. Ubekade futhi ke embukele sebenza njengentatheli Iindaba zomsakazo lapha eSABC emqhudelwaneni ke wendebe yomhlaba ebholini lomnqakiswano eKapa. Lonwabo sikubingelele sikamukele ekhaya Jikelele.
Sanibonani ninjani?
Hayi siyaphila sisithembe nawe ukuthi uright ugrandi. Happy Women's Day.
Ngiyabonga, ngi-right. Kumele kube grand phela i-Women's Day.
Nakanjani? Lonwabo sekukuningi ke okuzuzwe abantu besifazane kwezemidlalo nesasasa nje lokwesekwa liyakhula siyalibona liyakhula njengendebe yomhlaba yeFIFA nje abesifazane eqhubekayo kepha ke kusaxhaswa kakhulu abesilisa. Ingabe yini imbangela yalokho?
Sisi angazi ukuthi yini exactly why abesilisa basasivalela ama-channel ukuthi singakhona ukukhula as we should. I think angazi ukuthi why sisathatha ama-ideas wakudala into 2023 bekumele ngabe manje it's not isikhathi sokuqala sibona isafa CEO umuntu wesifazane. You know, bekumele ngabe manje abo netball South Africa ba dominated by abantu besimame bodwa. So I think abantu besilisa mele nje ba let it go, like yekelani, we can do it ourselves. And I think abantu besifazane babonakalisile ukuthi siyakhona ukuhandle into zethu sisodwa singadingi usizo lwenu. If ngasinika nje i-chance you know sizokhona ukunibonisa ukuthi siyakwazi nathi.
Mhlawumbe ke thina lonwabo njengabe Iindaba nje likuphi iphutha ke kithi njengoba siqhubeka phela nokugxila ekusakazeni imidlalo yabesilisa kuphela ekubeni sazi kahle ukuthi abesifazane baxhaswa kakhulu inhlangano ezingenzi inzuzo nabasebenza ngaphandle kokubheka inkokhelo.
I think yazi sinokusaba because at the end of the day abaningi bethu sisaphendula to ama-bosses amadoda, you know, so mawucabanga ukuthi ngathathi banyana ngenza i-top story uzongibheka kanjani, but I think bele siyekela ukusaba and be bold, you know, sibonakalise ukuthi siyakhona ukusupportana thina first before si expect support from abantu besilisa. I think those are some of the issues ukuthi we still have abantu bamadoda abama-manager wethu, and then that results in us ukuthi siyasaba ukufaka itori zethu. The more sizifaka, the more sinceda ama-sportswomen wethu, the more abobongemsomi don't have to ukuthi basebenze full-time jobs. There's a champion uDanisha Patel, table tennis champion yala South Africa, but full-time job, and table tennis awuyiboni anywhere on TV. So if mina ku-Radio 2000 ngiyamfaka uDanisha Patel, the more abantu base-South Africa bazi ngaye, the more ama-sponsors baba ngaye ukuthi khona i-table tennis champion owine South Africa kayi-6. Why asasebenza yena every day and a full-time career, but at the same time she's a sportswoman and she's a sports coach.
Sisekuboke abeindaba kusenzima nokuthi nje welonwabo uthole umuntu esifazane esakaza umdlalo wamanqamo webhola lombhoxo kwendebe yomhlaba. Ngabe ingakanani ingqinamba ezikhona nje nakuboke abafisa ukusebenza kwezemidlalo nakuba phela bengebona abadlali okanye nje abaqeqeshi?
Yazi mangibuyela back to the Netball World Cup engicede ukuyikhavara nami ke wangihlupha mangibona ama-coach amaningi we-netball kusese abantu bamadoda. Jamaica is coached by a men's coach. Baningi nje bebagcwele, but at the same time mawubheka abafazi bebayenza i-broadcasting, it was mostly abantu besifazane, and I think siyenza umsebenzi omuhle kakhulu. So I think nje ama-channel amaningi asavaleka, and it's time sifoster break all those doors, sifoster to make sure ukuthi banyana team definitely coach Desiree Ellis, but physio, is it still a woman? If it's not, let's fix it. Nasifaka umfazi abe i-physio yebanyana because umfazi understand more inkinga zabafazi. So why do we have a male physio?
Njengoba likhula nje ke izinga emidlalweni yabesifazane, engabe uxhaso lwemali lona luyisima kanjani?
uxhaso lwemali lusesekubi kakhulu yazi mangicabanga ukuthi as I was saying to you earlier ukuthi abafazi abaningi i-captain yethu ye-hockey isebenza full-time job and mawubheka for example i-team efana nama-Springboks i-team yamadoda inama-sponsors I'm sure I5, 6, 7 but eyabafazi ine-sponsor C1 so bengizibuza ukuthi into efana nokuthi i-marketing manager ye-Springboks why mayo promoter i-side lamadoda ingafaki nabafazi ku-package ukuthi if usponsora laba nayi ne-team yabafazi even if awubafakeli imali efanayo but at least ikhona nenye team ekumele uyi-recognize so i-corporate yona ithatha isikhathi even though bayazama abanye mawubheka ne-sponsor sebanyana banyana ne-sponsor sama-Proteas women bayazama bakhona they've been there for isikhathi eside but it's not enough uNomvula Khwale wasiyenza le-lipstick lady trend. It's only this year, a year later, after winning AFCON, actually lipstick brand in supporter. Why am a brands wabafazi, a consumer wabafazi, na bubangazi, but okay, I'm a lipstick into wabafazi. It is for the support for ibanyana banyana.
Manje lo nabo yini engenziwa mhlawumbe ukuthola ke isixazululo sazo zonke lezi ingqinamba zokubhekana nokuvaleleka ngaphandle kwabesifazane emkhakheni wezemidlalo?
I think Notolo icala ngathi as abantu besifazane as you asked earlier ukuthi singayenzani thina so icala ngami as a Radio 2000 presenter ukuthi uma bulletin wami na kanjani kumele kube khona istory esikhavara abafazi and then number 2 as thina abafazi siyasupportana na and then 3 says ukuthi the more people abayibukela ibhola stadium the more abantu bazobona iSABC zobona ukuthi asifake le game eTV because abantu have shown interest. Thina as abantu besifazane masithatha abantwana sibaye stadium bayobukela boThembi Khatlana and the more sibathatha the more siboni ama-corporate abone interest the more bazosupporta babona nabo ukuthi okay ngathi iyakhula le team ngathi siyakhula le sport singasupporta kanjani thina.
Hayi cha sibonge kakhulu ke lonwabo ngesikhathi sakho sikufisela usuku oluhle. Hayi siyathemba ukuthi kuzohamba kuhambe kulunge lapha emkhakheni wezemidlalo kanye nabesifazane kanti ngiyuthandile ke umqondo kalonwabo ukuthi kuqala ngathi thina njengoba naye lapho espaceni akusasebenza kuso naye beyichange nami espaceni engikuso ngibe yichange kanjalo ke nawe mbukeli uyaqhuquzela futhi nodaba lokuthi into ezifana nemidlalo kanje efana neyo banyana mabese stadium bedlala kuqala ngathi thina abantu besifazane ukuthi sisukume sihambe siyobaxhasa sigcwalisa istadium ngaleyo ndlela ke bazobe sebabonaka nalabo abaxhasa ngokwezimali kanjalo nabe Iindaba kanjalo nakuyimedia ukuthi bahambe ke bayocover izinto ezifana nalezo so ke mbukeli asibambisane nje sibambane siyabantu besifazane asithi qhu eyitolo ke sizobuya mangabe sibuya sizinesivakashi.
Enkosi kokhona ngohlala nathi sibukele kaloku si Ekhaya Jikelele apha kwinkqubo yakho uDTT. I-Lifted Let the Blind Sing ngumdlalo weqonga womculo ophononanga imingeni yobuqu yemihla ngemihla kunye noloyiso lwabantu abaphila nokukhubazeka kuMzantsi Afrika wale mihla. Usebenzile ke Khuzwayo yimvumi esebenza ngendlela ezahlukeneyo nezalwe nesimo sealbinism ekwaziyo ucula indidi ke ezahlukeneyo zomculo ezifana ne-jazz, afro-jazz kwakunye nombhaqanga. Miss Khuzwayo ke lilungu lemidlalo yeqonga elithi Lifted Let the Blind Sing eyinxalenye yomnyhadala waseVasavati State Theatre. Masikubulise sikwamkele enkqubeni iEkhaya Jikelele.
Ngiyabingelela ngiyabonga leli thuba ningipha lona.
Wow, ndiyezwa nokuthi ungumculi wombhaqanga.
Yes.
Siyathemba ukuthi next time mawuza uyose usiculele. Sebenzile siyaqonda into yokubana uzibandakanye nomboniso othi Let the Blind Sing apho mhlambe nihlangana nezimvumi nicula. Ungathi mhlambe bekutheni kubalekile into yokubana nichaze ngokunyaniseka amabali wabantu abaphila nesimo sealbinism because siyazi into yokubana zikhona stereotypes phandle apha kubani kuthiwa hey xa kuye kwenzeka into loluhlobo kuzawuthi. So why was it important for you ba uzibandakanye kwaye nichaze ngendlela enyanisekileyo abantu benu?
I think kubalekile ukuthi ngibe ingxenye yale play because kunama superstitions amaningi nama false beliefs about abantu phila nebala elimhlophe nabantu abakhubazekile, you know. For example, ukuthi abantu abanebala elimhlophe abafi bavele banyamalale, of which it's not true. Uyabo, nokuthi abantu abane if ufuna ukucurisha HIV and AIDS ungalala nomuntu onebala elimhlophe iyaphela, of which you know it's false information. So there is one it's kubalekile ukuthi sikhulume ngalezi zinto abantu babe aware about different forms of disabilities and the things that they go through, challenges abahlangabezana nawo on a daily basis, so that they know, you know. Yes.
I mean, that is beautiful, especially addressing as superstitions, ne stereotypes ezikhoyo. Kodwa ke mbukeli ngaphambi kokuba sihlabele emgama noludliwano ndlebe nayo iLele Ntswakazi khabula ufince kweminye yemisebenzi yakhe.
Lifted. The creative space has been missing productions that speak to the community of people living with disabilities, and there's been a little intervention in creating content that is inclusive and prioritizing such artists.
We have gathered as artists who are living with a disability. Others have amputated legs, arms, others are blind. So we are here, we're going to do a beautiful show. Yeah, that's in December for 3 days, or 3 nights rather. So that's what have made us together here. We're doing a show for people who are living with a disability. It's called Lifted, Let the Blind Sing.
Lifted is a theatre production created with the intention to embrace, bring awareness, and promote musical artists living with different forms of disabilities. This profound and inspiring production expresses daily challenges of the PWD community. The show is written and composed by the multi-award-winning Jikelele Mabena, who has won 2 Naledi Awards under his name.
I passed a group, Yabobaba, who was singing beautiful harmonies, you know, and I felt, to just throw in a 5 rand, then include for this amazing talent that actually needs to be put on stage, you know, and it actually prompted this vision, you know.
With beautiful curated music by the likes of Tepong Kadimeng, Metro FM and Summer Award nominee Myra, Snow White and Sebenzile Kuzwayo.
The plan is to continue this race here. People living with disabilities must be present in the art space. Our plan, even after the show, we continue bringing stakeholders on board. People that will fund, people that will buy into the vision and say, you know what do we do for 2023? What do we do for 2024? Creating jobs.
The interesting journey of casting went as far as searching for musicians from the streets. Talk about blind musicians that we pass by every day at the street corners and other public spaces, busking, using their voice and musical instruments trying to make a living. The production is lifting them from the streets to a professional stage as they are lifting the audience with a song.
It's so amazing also to see Abobaba who they don't see, but they're willing heart, man. I've never seen anything like that.
Your partnership and contribution will expand the vision to create artistic opportunities for the marginalized and to bring the necessary change that leads to job creation and sustainable means of survival.
Wow, mbukeli wami, lento gqibo ibona ke umboniso kupha Estate Theatre apho sibona kaloku ubuhle nobumbejembeje bama-Afrika behlangene bebonke bezama kaloku into yokubana baphucule in the art space. Sisaqhubeka kaloku sixovula le ngxoxo naye uSebenzile. Sebenzile, earlier on you touched on izinto mhlawumbe ozothi abantu abaphila nesimo se-albinism abazibhaqa bephansi kwazo, imiba mhlawumbe yokuba bagxekwe bazibone mhlawumbe ingathi they don't feel fit in society ezo stereotypes, and ubusitsho into yokubana in a world ye diversity siyabona mhlambe khona lemiboniso efana nalena eyakho. Usithele gqaba nje ngomxholo okanye i-storyline osemva kwalomboniso, and intoni ongathi iye yaba inspiration kuwe uba uzibandakanye nalomboniso?
Okay, so le play ikhuluma about different ikhuluma about people living with different disabilities, challenges. They are telling their stories, the challenges that they face on a daily basis, struggles that they go through, you know. So like
bayasebenzisana babonke.
Yes. So this play ikhuluma about that. Iyafundisa in a way ukuthi kahle abantu abaphila nebala elimhlophe or abantu abaphila nokukhubazeka.
Yes.
Baphila kanjani, yeah. So that abantu bafundiseke, you know, bakwazi ukuthi umtreata kanjani umuntu ophila nebala elimhlophe or umuntu ophila nokukhubazeka, you know, ukuthi siyafana nabo bonke abantu. Umehluko nje ukuthi we've got special needs, but siyafana na wonke umuntu. We can do other things that people can do. Yeah.
Akhonto ehlukile, siyafana sonke.
Siyafana singabantu sonke sinemizwa njenga wonke umuntu, you know. Yeah, and also into engiyinspirishile ukuthi this play is inclusive. Because most of the time, abantu abanama disabilities, they are excluded from opportunities in the society. Yabona, abawatholi amathuba isikhathi esiningi, babukelwa phansi, and people banokubabuka ukuthi bahlukile, you know, ayikho into abangayenza abantu abakhubazekile, kanti nabo abantu abakhubazekile banama gifts and talents, and they can excel in their gifts and talents. And I've seen that kuyona le musical play lifted. It's showcasing talent labantu abakhula amaphila nokukhubazeka.
And speaking of excellence, you are a true example of excellence, because here you are breaking the barriers. Noba mhlambe kwesisimo kuso, but you are living proof that it's possible. Ndiqinisekile mhlambe even ne community albinism iyakujonga nabo, you are a great inspiration. So siyafuna uqonda into yokubana mhlambe njengoko iqhubeka le musical play, what are some of the things that you have to do uba uzilungiselele xa ungena pha iqongeni jonga, you kill it ube phayana? What are some of the things ozenzayo uqiniseka into yokubana ukulungele ukuba seqongeni?
Okay, I have to practice so that I become better and better, you know. I practice, I do my warm-ups before isho iqale, you know. I prepare myself to be ready for the show. Yes. I do vocal exercises. We do that. We do vocal exercises. We do body exercises. You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing. And abantu mhlambe xa befuna ukulandela le musical play bayifumana phi?
Ikhona e-State Theatre, iqale ngomhla ka-2 August, izoziphela ngomhla ka-27 of August.
Wow, siyazinca kakhulu ngomsebenzi eniwenzayo kwaye sikufisela konke okuhle kumsebenzi wakho. I mean, continue breaking the cycle and hopefully uMzantsi Afrika uphela, especially singoku sibhiyozela inyanga yamanina, bazawubona ukubaluleka kwenu nani ninikeze ingqalasela nifane nabo bonke abanye abantu. Siyabulela Ekhaya Jikelele into yokubana sibe nawe inkqubo namhlanje.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu ukuthi nibe nami.
Inkosi kakhulu. Right, mbukeli lo wami lo ke besithetha naye kaloku nguye usebenzile khuzwayo esibalisela ke ngomsebenzi awenzayo kwezobugcisa esithi into yokubana nakubeni nje ephila nokhubazeka kwesisimo sealbinism uyathi into yokubana mininzi imingeni abathi bajamelane nayo eluntwini. Kodwa ke unethemba ngalomboniso abawenzayo ukuba uluntu ngokubanzi lizawuvuseleleka babone nabo indima yabo eluntwini. Kanti ngoku ke masithi qhwi evenkileni siyabuya sekuninzi esikuphathele kona.